And welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Life and Legacy Show, sponsored by the Seckler Law Firm, where great families make great estate plans. I'm your host on this show. And my name is Tim Seckler. I am the owner of the Seckler Law Firm, and I want to wish you a happy New Year's. If you're listening to this on the radio, it is airing on New Year's Eve, 2022, heading into 2023, and I couldn't be happier to share a little piece of this holiday with you. And I want to chat with you about all the things that are going on around here. One, I think that this season is just a season to take a second and reflect back on the wonderful things that occurred to us during the year, the tough things that perhaps maybe we wish wouldn't have happened during the year. And I wanted to. My wife tells me I never share enough wins, so I'm going to share some wins with you. The law firm, we have hired a ton of great staff this year. That is a huge win. We have an awesome team of people here, and they're just willing to work and fight and help fulfill this mission that we have. Because, I started this law firm, which focuses entirely on estate planning and elder law, because I wanted to help people avoid bad outcomes. It's my belief that people don't work their whole lives to save some money, to raise families, to go to work every day, to get a nest egg, to lose that nest egg to stupid things like probate expenses, taxes, nursing home expenses. And I've come to learn that with proper planning, you can avoid those things and really honor the life that someone has built, the legacy that they have built with proper planning. And I've got a team full of people, and we've hired well this year, that are committed fully to that experience, to helping families tell the last chapter of their lives, and do it in a respectful way, and make sure that what our clients' families aren't saying is, had only he or she planned better, right? So that's kind of like this collective vision that we have, and we've added some team to that, and this message that we're putting out there in the world has really worked this year. We grew by a fair bit this year. We helped over 400 families with their legal needs, which is just mind-boggling to me, how and humbling to me, how many people that we are able to touch and improve and plan for. And that's hundreds of families that, before they came to see us, did not have a good estate plan, did not have any estate plan, perhaps. And as a response of what we're putting out there in the world, this radio show, other educational materials that we come up with, people are finding us, people are responding well, and people are doing great planning for their families, which is just a beautiful situation for us. And we were certainly blessed in 2022 to meet and help lots of new families. And do it in a way where we help our families feel like they're part of our family. This is a place where we get to know our clients, and build real relationships. We also helped, within that number, dozens and dozens of families where somebody was receiving long-term care, and they came to us as what we call sort of a nursing home case or a life care case, where someone is in a nursing home or similar level of care, and they are going through their money. Nursing homes in this state cost 15 grand a month, and families are ill prepared for that. And so they end up on our doorstep as a result, usually of a referral from the nursing home. See, the nursing homes don't want you to go broke, but they do need their bills paid, and they understand that there are ways to get the government to pay the bills. And so we'll get a referral, and we'll work with a family to help them with their planning needs, protect the home, protect the money, protect the resources. And we help dozens and dozens of families in that situation this year. I think it's tragic that families end up in that situation every year, but it is gratifying and nice to know that we can help them. And another thing I'd like to share with you this year is we did over 50 estate planning workshops, which means that we have educated, of the hundreds that hire us, we've hired lots more people. We've educated lots more people on how to effectively do planning. Now, maybe they took that education, went to another law firm. Maybe they took that education and did nothing. Maybe, I don't know, but we did improve the world, in my mind, by educating these people on what a proper estate plan looks like. And going back to the nursing home cases that I was chatting about there, I want to take a second to just feel thankful that my family didn't personally go through this situation, because our neighbors, our friends, there are people that are going through this tragic stuff, and if that is not you right now, keep in mind that it could be you at some point in time in the future. And there's two types of people that go to nursing homes: those with a plan and those without a plan. And I can tell you that the people that end up with a plan end up there more confident, less family drama, and less financial negative impact, because they've thought this through and they've planned for it. And so, what I'm asking you to consider, if you've listened to the show, if this is your first time listener, if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I'm always on you about getting this stuff done, getting this stuff done. Come to an event, come to an event. Let's talk about your plan. And yet, maybe you haven't yet. Here's the thing. I'm not a big believer in New Year's resolutions. I am a bigger believer in looking back on the old year to learn some lessons, and what did I commit to and what did I not accomplish? What did I accomplish? Um, but the thing about New Year's resolutions is that most people do it wrong. Most people do it based on the effect. I have the commitment to lose 15 pounds. But we as humans don't have the physical ability to just lose 15 pounds. If I could think it away, I would have already thought it away. I can't lose 15 pounds the way I can wave my arm. It's the wrong commitment. It's a commitment to an effect, not the cause. To get the thing done, you have to commit to the cause, meaning I commit to going to the gym 5 days a week. I commit to quit putting junk food in my mouth. I commit. If we commit to those causes, the effects will follow. But a commitment to an effect without a plan for how to execute it, without a commitment to a plan for how to execute it, is always going to fail. And so, you know, one of the things that may be on your mind is that, it's been a long time since we did any estate plan. We did a will when the kids were little, but we're retired now. We're thinking about retirement, and maybe we should put a plan together. Um, Great, but don't commit to getting an estate plan, because you don't have the ability to do it yourself. You got to commit to the cause that will lead to proper planning for your family, and that cause is always always going to be education first. It has to be education first, because one of the reasons that estate plans fail is because people don't understand their options. People don't understand wills versus trust. People don't understand how to properly use these tools. And so the estate plan fails. Maybe the estate plan failed because we got confused and we never did it. Maybe the estate plan failed because we knew it was confusing and we never wanted to wrestle with it. Maybe it failed because we got halfway educated. We did this document, but we didn't understand that document, and we could have used that one instead. And so this is why we are committed here at the Secular Law Firm to continue to offer our estate planning and elder law workshops, because for you to plan well for your family, you have to go through education. You have to. You can't just you can't just say I need to get a will. A will is only one option. A lot of families, once they become educated on the various options, still do a will, but they will add a trust or two to their estate plan. So why are they doing this? Because they understand this stuff more than you do. They came and they became educated on what these tools could do for you. So I challenge you to come to one of our estate planning workshops. Let that commitment be the cause that will lead to the effect of eventually having a plan that is going to work well for your family, and make sure that if you end up in a situation, a bad situation in 23 or after, disability, illness, death, different, the different negative experiences where the estate plans come into play, that we have thought about it, we've planned for it, and we put together the best plan for you, not just a document off the internet or that we had since the kids were little. So that's my challenge to you is, this is a season of spending time with family. This is a season of reflecting on the old and welcoming the new, and this is a season of planning. If you were in my business, in my office, you would see, in fact, I can show the people watching online, you would see that we have done a ton of planning for our law firm. I've got my entire year charted out, on what trips do we need to take, what conferences do I need to attend, when are we going to do our educational workshops. We have planned for the causes that will hopefully lead to the effects of helping more and more families plan well for their families. Folks, come to one of our estate planning workshops. Here's what you're going to experience when you come there. And you can find them all at secklerlawfirm.com, SECHLER lawfirm.com. You'll find the sign up forms. We've got some coming up in the first couple of weeks of January, but we have them throughout the year. You can also give us a call at 724-546-4227, and we'll invite you to attend one of the workshops. Now, what do we do at the workshop? We talk to you in real terms about what it is that you want to accomplish. We talk to you about the tools, wills versus powers of attorney versus trust. We're going to talk to you about why you might choose to use one tool in conjunction with or as opposed to another tool. We're going to talk to you about taxes. We're going to talk to you about the nursing home. We're going to talk to you about how do your kids actually get their inheritance, because most of your money is probably not even going through your will. So let's talk about how these things will actually unfold if and when they do, and how we can be prepared to explain to our family this is how it's going to happen, right? Now, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot about those things, okay, at our workshop. But in addition to those things, we're going to make you an offer. Now, a lot of the time you go to these seminars, you go to these workshops, and the offer is consultation for only $400 or whatever. Here's what we like to offer you instead is more education. We've got education in the form of other live events, in the form of videos, in the form of things you can read. Because if we're going to do an hour seminar with you, I firmly believe you cannot make effective estate planning decisions after a 1 hour seminar. That reminds me of that old book. What was it? You can't learn to ride a bike at a seminar. You can't learn to do an estate plan at a seminar. You got to do more education. And so we offer classes, we offer additional education, and we will teach you how these tools work. And we will talk to you about your family situation, and we will teach you how to properly use which proper tools to plan for your family. Okay. And then the result of all of this, what we call our foundation program, the result of all this education and working together is you will have an estate plan custom designed to fit your needs and your situation, and you'll fully understand it. And you're not just going to go buy some document from some lawyer or some website. You're going to fully understand the plan and how it's going to relate. But see, here's the thing. Even families that get the right documents, they go to a lawyer, they get the trust, they get the whole thing worked out. Most of those estate plans still fail for three or four reasons. One is most law firms don't fund your trust. What does that mean? Well, you create a trust, you got to put some of your assets into the trust. You got to retitle your home, you got to retitle bank accounts. Most law firms don't do that. We will work with you to make sure that your trust is properly funded. This takes some time. Another reason estate plans fail is because there's nothing ever communicated to your decision makers about what their roles and responsibilities are going to be. Right. So just because if I handed you, assuming you are not currently a football coach, if I handed you a football playbook, would that make you a coach? Like if I just said to the average person that understands a little bit about football, here's a playbook. Does that make you a football coach? No, not any more than showing your kids an estate planning document like a will or a trust is going to make them an effective executor or trustee. They need to understand the game better. They need to understand how this works. And so part of our program, not only do you get the documents, we also educate your family to the extent you feel comfortable sharing. We educate your kids, we educate the other decision makers in your family on what will eventually be their role and responsibility. How does this all unfold? If dad gets sick, here's what you do. When dad passes away, here's what you do. So we develop a relationship not only with our clients, but the children of our clients to make sure that this whole thing is going to work. And another reason estate plans fail is because people like to think of this as sort of like one of those checklist items. Check the box. I got my estate plan done. Check, right? Sign the documents. Not only did they not fund them properly, but we got it done. We can feel better because we got a will, right? Well, it's been 20 years and you haven't changed anything. And I suspect your life has changed pretty dramatically in 20 years. The kids are older. The kids are out of the house. If there were kids, The person you named as your executor may not be living anymore. They may have their own health issues or other issues why they can't do it. So the other reason that estate plans fail is because they're never updated to reflect the real world, that changes occur in your family and changes occur in the law, tax law for sure, long-term care, and how this whole system is working. These things change. Your estate plan needs to change as well, which is why we like to form long-term relationships with our clients. Okay, so when I went to law school, there was this thing in law school that people would say about transactional law, right? So there was like the litigators, and litigators is like an ego-driven thing. I'm going to be in a courthouse mopping up the other guy all day long. Or you practice transactional law. So what does transactional law mean? Well, generally, think of real estate closing, a contract, a lot of people think an estate plan. So I go to the lawyer, I hire them for a thing. It's not involving any litigation or the courthouse. It's a transaction. I'm going to buy this thing from this lawyer, and those lawyers are in transactional law. And I hate the term transactional law. You're not a transaction with my law firm. You're a member with my law firm. We are going to work with you to set up estate plans, not just to sell you some document, to help you with a plan that will actually work. And what does that look like? Well, first, it starts with education, like I've been saying all morning. It starts with education, and you come in and through sometimes 3 and 4 hours of education before you're finally making decisions. You're going to understand how this stuff works. Okay, so we do the education, then we focus on getting you the correct tools for the job. Then we get you those tools. Then we work with you to fund the plan, changing of ownership, changing of beneficiary designations, making sure that the stuff gets where it's supposed to be for the estate plan to be effective. Then we put on educational events for your decision makers, your kids, your siblings, your family members, whoever's going to help you in the event of need, disability, death, hard times. Whoever you would turn to in your estate plan to be your power of attorney, your executor, your trustee, we're going to educate them on their job, their roles and responsibilities. And then we're going to keep you updated with ongoing educational support as time goes on to make sure that your plans are updated with regard to changes in the law and changes in your own family. Get back in here and let's change some stuff. My clients are not transactions. If you come to work with my law firm, you're not going to be a transaction. I have so many of these clients that come in with these old dusty documents, and they'll come to our firm and they'll say, "Oh, what was the name of that lawyer that wrote our thing? Oh, remember he was down there on Babcock. Oh, and they can't remember the guy's name. They can, and to me, I never want that to be the experience that my clients have. You are not a transaction. We're going to offer you ongoing support with the estate plan to make sure that the thing works. And here's the last reason that estate plans work is if people are properly educated. Sometimes people will still make bad decisions, and a lot of the bad decisions are made to save a few grand, right? And so estate planning can get expensive. And so what we've done at the Secular Law Firm is we've created a program to get really, really effective estate plans at really, really competitive rates. And so it's a wonderful situation, and and we're proud to offer it with these educational events. You're going to know it all up front. You're going to know what your options are. You're going to know what the tools are. You're going to know what it costs before you owe us a penny. And I can't make it any more fair than that. We're going to give you all the education for free. Then you make a decision with the legal fees that you already understand. And if you don't find them reasonable, which most people do, if you don't find them reasonable, don't hire us. And it's that simple. And hundreds and hundreds of families have experienced this year. It was a good deal for them. They hired us, and we look forward to continuing to support them as their families grow and change. Just like I look forward to meeting you and helping your family as time changes and life goes on. Right. So, with that, I I want to say thank you to the people who listen to the show. I want to say thank you to my family. I want to say thank you to my staff. I want to say thank you to my coaches. I want to say thank you to the people who have helped us accomplish our goals in 2022, the goals that were up on the calendar last year as we're looking forward at 2022, because we hit a lot of those goals. And this is just a time where I feel like this is my medium to say thanks for that help. Thanks for the effort. Thanks to my family. Thanks to the people that support me. I hope that as this New Year's is upon us, it's New Year's Eve if you listen to the show as it's occurring live. I hope that you take a few minutes today to be grateful, not just excited about next year, but to be grateful about the last year, the things that happened, the people that entered your world. And and just take that moment, because I think that this is what this is all about. And that does bring me to like one other thing I want to chat about, and that is, this is like the time of the year where we hit the reset button, and we move on to a new chapter. January 1st is tomorrow, and here's what I think you ought to do. All right, pull out your phone, and if you have an iPhone like I do, it will record. It will, if you go to your pictures, it will break those pictures down by month. Right? You can search it by month. Go to January and just start moving forward. Because if you're having a tough time finding things to be grateful for, you're going to find a lot of those things in your pictures. And if most of us probably don't have a hard time finding things to be grateful for, but there probably are things that you should be grateful for that you forgot. Take the half an hour today, scroll through the picture, and look at the year in review, because so often I think that we just caught up in what's going on next, what's next, that we forget the time to reflect on the awesome things that occurred. Understand that when I'm saying this, there are lots of people who are going to look back at those pictures and find some pretty sad times, right? We've lost loved ones. We have people who have gotten sick. We have had financial difficulties. We have had whatever marital difficulties that we have had. And so wrestle with those bad times along with the good times. And I think that you'll learn some lessons as you move forward to start thinking about how you want to live your life in 2023. There's two things. One, learn the lessons from the personal things that occurred. Number two is, if those pictures do not tell the tale of disability, death, divorce, the different things that people will eventually go through, understand that you will eventually go through those things. And we need to have a plan for how to deal with it. Okay, so that's one. But what I really was trying to get to with the picture thing is organize them and save them in a place where they can be shared. All right, so there's a number of resources out there where you can organize your photos. One I happen to really like is a website called forever.com, which is local Pittsburgh company, but you have the photos in there and you can share them with people and you can organize them, and you can even set it so that when I pass away, here is who they share the information with. Here's who can see the pictures. Here's who has access to certain content, because there is no family photo album anymore, right? When people are passing away, a thing that has changed in the last 10 years is there really is no family photo album anymore. It's all individual. It's all on our smartphones. That's where the photos are. And, there's thousands of photos on my phone that my wife has never seen, and vice versa. And if I pass away, imagine she or my kids or my siblings may want to actually take a look at some of that stuff. I can organize that stuff in such a way that I can share what I want to share with whom I want to share it. And our desire, just because there are no more physical photo albums, doesn't mean that there isn't still the desire to look at those old photos with our loved ones, or when something happens to me, my wife is probably going to want to look at that. So this is sort of a new twist in the estate plan, that we have to also be thinking about these digital assets that 20 years ago none of us owned, and now we do. And so if you have a second, check out forever.com. I got no financial interest in the success of forever.com. But They have competition, but take the time to organize your stuff in in meaningful ways, and so that if you go through these tough times, it's not just the inheritance of the money; it's also the inheritance of the memories. And take the time to plan well for those things. So I appreciate you listening. Happy New Year to you. I hope you had a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or whatever holiday you tend to celebrate this time of the year. I hope for you to have the best 2023 that you can be. Focused on, if you're going to do the New Year's resolutions, focus on those causes, not those effects, and you'll find that the effects are a little bit easier to find. Um, and check us out anytime, secklerlawfirm.com, SECHLER lawfirm.com, or give us a call, 724-546-4227. Thanks for listening, folks. Have a happy New Year.